Hey.
Hey, right on time, baby. Actually, I just hit live. Actually, so we're alive.
Oh my God.
So sorry, but not sorry for everybody who's watching because what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Deadhead Podcast, episode 65, where we'll be talking about my first initial thoughts of AC Shadows and Jan's journey through Final Fantasy X. Jan, I know this just started, man. We weren't able to do our small talk, so we'll do it here. How's it been going, brother?
It's actually been going pretty great. If you hear some like rustling noise in the background, I apologize. My girlfriend just moved in with me
Uh,
to live with me.
oh wow!
Yeah, it's a big step.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she's settling in. Actually, half an hour ago. That's why I was late, as in, I came in just in time because I was helping her, carry her bags, carry her things.
Oh
And
yeah.
now she's sorting that out in the good old
Oh no, that's no
my
problem
room.
with that. You'll be hearing. No, it's okay. I'm used. I'm like the king of having things going on in the background. My daughter's in that stage where she talks all the time, so
Oh
I'm
man, she
sure.
started to talk.
Well, I mean, she's doing baby talk, but she's talking like
Mm-hmm.
a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Gotcha.
can't understand what she's saying, but she's constantly like yeah 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 yeah. So you might end up hearing that from the other room, but that's awesome. So I mean, again, we don't have to get super personal here, but you have a roommate, don't you?
I do have a roommate, and we've been talking about this obviously. This hasn't been a quick thing. We went to talks with it. We talked about how this would work out, like what the dynamics would look like,
Yeah,
and we came up with an agreement that everyone is happy with. I mean, my roommate is a super chill guy. It's
yeah,
not like I had to beg him or anything.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, he's in his own room, and my girlfriend will be in my room with me. It's a pretty big room, so we can share it.
Good deal.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's
It's pretty
awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's when you really, really get to know another person. So
Yep.
I
Just the trial
while it
period.
while it's very, very exciting, yeah, you'll see some shit. Anyway, what's no, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's great. And I want to thank you guys for anybody watching this now, watching it later. I appreciate you guys tuning back in. I know that the Deadhead podcast has been weird for 2025. We just had a lot going on. We had a show planned, just to reiterate, we had a show planned like 2 weeks ago to talk about Long Legs. I've been wanting to watch this movie for a long time. It has Nicolas Cage in it, and he plays a pretty demented figure. And I wanted to just check it out because he's just a very wacky, zany individual. For the past few years, he's done these wild, larger than life characters. So I wanted to just give it a check. I watched it on my own time with my wife because we had already planned to watch it anyway. But just things just didn't pan out. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jan. I think I've told Jan over Messenger, and then I think I might have alluded to it now, probably just talking. I didn't really care too much about the movie. I didn't feel like there was
Mm,
much to talk about. That's not why we canceled the show. We could, you know how Jan and I are. We always can go off of several different topics, so it's not like it's a big deal. But I'm glad we didn't talk about that one. I am glad that we
yeah.
didn't do that one
Yeah.
because the movie was just okay. You know what I mean? I don't think it's worthy to really talk about on the show.
It's not even like so bad. It's so good. Is that what you're
No.
saying? Yeah. I mean, I was actually planning to watch it. If we did do the show, I would have watched it like the same day,
Mm-hmm.
like a few hours before going live. But yeah, but as you said that it's not been really much to talk about. So I said, okay, so I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna watch it. It's not.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, like I said, Nicolas Cage. I love Cage. He's been around for years. Well, my whole life. But yeah, this one definitely not some of his brightest points. I think he did fine. I think he was okay, but I
Hmm.
think it was just the way the story was told. I just thought it was pretty bad. But
Mm,
so we just had a lot going on. I know I've been working a lot. I've had other opportunities come up. I know Jan's been busy as well. So Jan, as always, thank you for making the time, brother, to talk about some gaming stuff. Then we're in a pretty exciting time where we got games coming out constantly. Matter of fact, I actually have access to the first Berserker right now if I wanted to play it.
oh,
But I'm gonna wait until we do our first impressions episode, which should be our next one. So I'm pretty excited to get into that. So, um, man,
what's
where do?
what else is new with you?
Uh,
I said what's new with me, but what's new with you?
oh, um, not a whole lot. Actually, I was supposed to make up some time at work today, and I ended up taking
Mm,
off because I have this. So I just started this new class. Um,
mm-hmm.
it's going to be very extensive. It's going to have me very very busy, and I just kind of wanted to get jump on it. I'm usually off today. I'm usually off Sundays and Mondays, but I missed some time last week because I had to take a math exam, and I was going to be very, very busy to take that. So I ended up taking off to do that. And so then I took off today so I could work on this report, which I finished it. But um, I'm losing a little bit of money because it's overtime money. It's not my base pay, so I'm still getting paid
Oh,
my
okay.
base, but I'm losing my overtime. And right now, my overtime is what I'm using to pay, rent and debt and
Oh,
things like
damn.
that. So
Okay.
I'm a little disappointed I had to take off for it, but I just, man,
It's out of your hands, man. I mean,
it's one thing I will say, man, just to be completely honest, dude. I I've been wanting to kind of go back and finish where I started. I mean, I'm kind of starting in a proverbial beginning sort of stages when it comes to like my schoolwork and things like that. Like I went to college for a little while, but then I got a great opportunity, took a little break, and I wish I would have never taken that break because now it's like I'm just kind of rebuilding what I've already sort of learned, and a lot of it is just reminding myself what I already knew. But at the same time, it's so gosh damn time consuming, and I just
mhm.
don't have a lot of time at the moment, and it's
Yeah.
hard. It's really hard. I mean, I was able to put, believe it or not, I was able to put about 7 hours into Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I have a little bit of time that I can talk about. But it's just, man, I was talking about the wife, man. It's like I want to do it, and I'm excited about it. But at the same time, it's like, damn, dude, like it's like the whole saying, like return on investment.
Of
Like
course.
putting in the
Yeah.
time into what do I get out of it, and I think the good things will come out of it if I can see this through. But it's just having the time to do it all. Like I'm trying to be a full time student, a full time dad, a full time employee.
Employee.
Then I'm also trying. I want to do this, and I want to put my time into doing the podcast. I want to play games for the podcast and for myself. I got to worry about my health. It's just a lot, and then saving on top of that, saving money, doing that. So it's a lot. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah, I don't
that's
know how you do it. I mean,
so yeah.
and
I don't
schools
know either.
itself is a drag, so I don't know how
Yeah,
insane. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just everything's good though. It's just very very busy. So it feels good to want to do this and just talk about gaming and things like that. And I hope that we can, as 2025 keeps going, this show can be more of a priority. The things that we do want to be more of a priority for myself, and then just try to find some time to do my school effectively, but also like I don't know, not burn myself out because I've kind of felt that way here lately. I've just been like, man, f this freaking homework. I'm not doing this shit. And then I wait till last minute. It's like, oh, I do care.
Yep.
I care. I
Uh,
say I don't care, but I do care. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
the student experience right there.
yeah. So anyway, but all good. I didn't mean to get in and all that, but it is good. It is a little bit of a grind, and it's annoying.
No, I
you
get.
know,
No, I completely get you. I don't really. I have incredible respect for you for putting up with all that.
Yeah, thank you. I try. I actually had somebody come up to me while I was working. I was working overtime at another place. It's part of the same company, but I was just working somewhere else. And someone, I kind of know them more in passing. They're not like a close friend of me or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but we go to the same school. And
Mm-hmm.
he saw me because he was surprised to see me at this particular department where I'm working. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, you're working at this place and you're working here and you're doing school? How the hell are you even like functioning right now? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm here.
Yeah. You either get busy living or get busy dying.
No, yeah, that's right. That's right, man. But anyway, let's get away from depressing shit. Let's talk
All
about
right.
some games, dude. So because
Sure
that's when I've
thing.
had time. Besides watching Outer Banks with the wife, I've been playing some games, which is not
Awesome.
a lot of time. I've been enjoying the show with the wife. I feel really good that we got a show that we like together because she's so weird about some of the things she really has interest in. So I'm glad we found one we like. But when we have been watching, I've been playing some games. Mine's been AC Shadows ever since the 20th. And I'm definitely going to get into the first Berserker soon because, I've been super excited about that. But Jan has been playing a game that
Yeah.
is a
Same game.
classic. And honestly, I would feel remiss if I didn't start with that because I think Final Fantasy X is a special one. It's been so long since I finished it.
Oh, so you did finish it.
A long time ago, so I don't really
Mm.
remember a whole lot of. I remember I really loved the setting. I love the setting, like the beachy. vibe.
Hmm.
I think Blitzball is a sick ass concept. I like the sin, the
Oh yeah, that is.
sort of enemy of the
Yeah, we can
game.
get into that. Yeah.
So all that stuff I really, really like. I think I remember the characters being pretty memorable, like Waka, Oron.
Yep.
Trying to think what's her
Ulu.
name. Yep, that's it.
Yuna.
Yeah. So it has a lot of memorable things about it. Voice acting is kind of trash, but that's
Uh,
because it was the first Final Fantasy that had voice
voice
acting.
acting.
So
Yeah, it
for
was rough.
that, you got to say it was pretty good, but in all actuality, it's pretty trash. So, but yeah. So let's hear it, man. How far are you along, and what do you think about Final Fantasy X?
Well, I mean, I've played. I think I'd imagine I'm a bit over like halfway through. I'm at the point where Yuna has been kidnapped by the Guados, and they pretty much want to force her into marrying Seymour, right? The guy with the
Mm-hmm.
crazy hairdo,
Mm-hmm.
who we died, who we killed, but he didn't die actually. Um, and I gotta say, when I started this, I was thinking, okay, it really took me a long time to get here. I keep saying that I'm like a big FF fan, but I haven't played Final Fantasy X, right? The one that everyone has played, and I felt kind of bad. But now that I'm playing it, I'm glad that I waited this long because it feels right. The time feels right for playing this game. As you said, the setting of this game is really incredible. I like it so
Mm-hmm.
much. I think it's the first Final Fantasy game to not have like a European setting, and the setting is more so, and the mythology at large is more so centered in Eastern
Mm-hmm.
culture, right?
Right.
Um, so yeah, it looks very exotic to me, and it's very different from anything I've seen in a Final Fantasy game so far. And as I said, the concept itself, I love this antagonist. Like for the first time in a Final Fantasy game, the antagonist is not some loudmouth, right? Who keeps
Mm-hmm.
saying about, he's ranting about his plan to fucking destroy or rule the world, but it's just an unstoppable force. Like that is I love that, and this thing, right? This being has existed for so many years that humanity has shaped an entire religion around it, and I love when a game gets into that. I didn't think it would, but it does. Really get into the meat of things. You start talking about things like faith, about religion, right? About clerical dynamics, about institutions. It's fantastic. I love it. You don't
Mm-hmm.
think about it. The voice acting does throw me off a little bit. I think that like for the most time it's fine. I think and most characters are voiced decently enough, but I cannot stand Yuna. And
Mm.
being the leading lady, it's rough, right? Like every time she opens her mouth, it's terrible. It's like, no, I'm fine. Like it doesn't never sounds like her heart is into it,
Yeah, it
like the
sounds like
voice
she's
actress
phoning.
does.
Yeah, it sounds like she's just phoning it in. So you're playing it because I don't know how the languages is
Well,
are in that game. You know.
here's the thing. I was gonna get into that. So obviously there is like an original Japanese dub,
Mm-hmm.
but and this was a thing for a very long time. Even though like it's a Japanese game, right? And even though I'm not playing it with English text, I still get the English voices and I can't change them. This has
Hmm.
been a thing for a long time. Kingdom Hearts was like that. The earlier Persona games were like that. You just assumed that, I guess, since there are more people here talk English and Japanese, they just automatically hardwire the English dub and don't let us change to Japanese. And usually I don't care. I mean, there are a lot of people, a lot of purists who go, Japanese is the only way to listen to it. I usually don't mind, but here I was really, it got me to desperately looking at the options menu to go like, oh God, please release me, release
Right.
me. But I don't know, it grew into me. The characters, yeah, I really like, except Yuna, and I don't think it's just the voice acting. I think I don't mind her. It's not that I dislike the character. I just think that she's more of an archetype than an actual character.
Mm-hmm.
She's really not interesting at all. And I think it's supposed to be that way. They even say Auron at some point says it. Yeah, she's plain, and she never asks for help. He says something like that, which describes her whole personality. But all the other ones are have a lot of depth to them. Even the geese like Waka,
Hmm.
Tidus. Tidus would be a character that I would usually, it's a classic anime protagonist. He's a loudmouth. He's very brash. Is that a word?
Hmm.
Uh, and he always, speaks before he thinks. You know what he's like? He's like God, what's his face? Final Fantasy Zack.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're
I
kind of
can see that.
similar,
Yeah, I can
right?
see
They're
that.
kind of
Yeah.
sim. But what sets Tidus from Zack apart, I think, is that Tidus has these monologues, which kind of show a bit more depth to him, and I really appreciate that. And
Hmm.
I actually like his monologues. They're also, I think, they're the better voiced parts of the game. Ever since the beginning, they really set the tone. They go, "Listen to my story. This
Hmm.
might be the last chance." I love that.
Yeah. I
Um,
like his look too.
you do?
I like his yeah. It's kind of got like that corny sort of Final Fantasy type
He's
look
a
to it.
Beach Boy. Like if I when I
But I
think
like
of
the
Beach Boy,
sword
that's
too. Like his
the sword is
original
great.
sword. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that was the Waka gave to him was Chapu's. Chapu is Waka's little brother.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, I could like start talking for like hours about each character. There's Waka, there's Lulu. Lulu, who at first thought was just gonna be, the very distant, the very cold, female protagonist that would like set herself apart from Yuna. Yuna is very forthcoming or welcoming. Then there's this bitch, right? I'm just kidding. I ended up really liking Lulu. And actually, did you know that FF10 has like a hidden affection mechanic, kind of like FF7, where based on
Oh.
some of your answers,
Hmm.
some cutscenes are a bit different.
I
There's a
didn't know
part
that.
where you're in like a snowboat, and and they go in pairs, and the person that gets on a snowboat with Tidus is based on that point system. And guess who I got? I got Lulu, of course, because I'm all about those goth mommies,
Right.
and and I'm really glad that I got her because each during the short dialogue that you get in that scene, she shows a lot of depth. She actually starts trusting Tidus. I haven't talked about a story at all. Like for those who don't know, so Tidus is a guy, a blitzball player. Blitzball is a sport. It's soccer in a bowl of water
Hmm.
that's that's held in like an anti-magnetic field,
Yeah,
anti-gravitational field, I
it's
should
like
say,
soccer slash hockey underwater.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, and a bit of what do you call not basketball, but the other one, to use the hand with the ball, uh, doesn't matter.
Baseball.
Baseball,
Baseball.
yeah, a bit of baseball because they
Oh,
use
okay.
their hands a bit, like the movements. I don't know
Oh,
sports.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm a
yeah, yeah,
nerd. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah.
And what happens is that during the game, his whole town, the whole city he lives in, Xanarkand, which is this huge futuristic city, gets blown to shreds by this sin being, by this thing. Also, he gets sent 1,000 years into the future when people are already used to sin, and Xanarkand is considered some sort of holy land that only summoners are allowed to go as part of their pilgrimage. And summoners actually go in a pilgrimage to Xanarkand so that they could learn the ultimate summon that would defeat sin.
Hmm.
And of course, he isn't defeated for long. He's defeated for like a couple of years and he comes back. Because sin, at least this is what the cult of Yemen, the Church of Yemen, whatever you want to call it, thinks, is that a sin represents is here to punish humanity, right? Because humanity got lazy, right? Humanity got too reliant on technology,
Hmm.
and so pretty much sin is here to keep humanity in check, to punish them. Um, which is also why in the future, which is a very, it's kind of like a Horizon kind of deal, where the future is a bit looks more antiquated than the present. People are living in like little villages and little tribes. Machines are forbidden. They call them machinas in
Hmm.
the English dub. It's like an English thing only. They use like this Latinism. I'm not sure why, but they mean machines, right? So
Hmm.
most technology is forbidden for this reason.
Hmm.
So okay, so that story wise, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it. Gameplay wise, you know what? I had a few hiccups. I had a few hiccups. There were like some difficulty spikes that had a lot of trouble getting through, and I wouldn't expect that because a lot of people I'd never heard of this game being very particularly difficult.
Yeah.
It's not a critique that I hear, but I had trouble. The sphere grid system was a bit
Hmm.
obtuse to me at first. I
Yeah.
got
Right.
used
Right.
to it, but
Right.
it's a bit obtuse because at first I thought, I mean, I've seen screenshots of it for all my life, and it always looked like a very basic skill tree, right? So you just go forward, but no, it's not like that. Basically, for it is like a skill tree, but you have to move in the skill tree, and
Hmm.
moving does not equate to completing it. Once you move to a certain spot and you move by wasting levels, and you can go back, but you got to waste another level to go back.
Hmm.
Once you are in a certain spot, then you can use spheres that you earn by battling, and that's how you put the spheres in the slots, and that's how you progress your character. But only
Hmm.
certain spheres are used for certain types of progress, right? Of upgrade. There's the spheres that upgrade your health, your stats, that learn a new skill, and it's just a lot. And the tutorial does not help at all. There's like a 3 minute long tutorial, and
Hmm.
it's like, dude, like somebody was just smashing through it because I was not
I'm not gonna
following.
lie to you when like
Mhm.
because I never finished it, but whenever I was upgrading things. I was playing
Uh-huh.
this like years ago. I'm talking like
Uh-huh.
maybe 12 or 13. I had my cousin who passed away about 5 years ago.
Hmm.
I had to get him to to help.
Dude.
He had to upgrade my shit for me. He'd be like, dude, when are you gonna upgrade? I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I don't
Yes.
understand. So yeah, and
I was
I don't
putting
blame
it
him.
off at the beginning too, because like, like, what
Yeah,
is this, right?
yeah, it's very it look especially on the surface, it looks super
Hmm.
complicated.
But once you get into it, it is simple, but it is still very slow, because you can't just move on to it. You gotta, select your spot you gotta go through. And then the game asks you, "Are you sure?" Yes, I'm sure. Then you gotta select the right sphere, the right item to put into the slot. Then the game asks you, "Is this the slot you want to put it in?" Yes, that one. And that's one of them. And I mean, you gotta upgrade all the time, right? So if you level up 5 times, you gotta go to this process 5 times, and it's just like, I'm not shitting on it. I think it could be interesting. I know there's like a master setting when you begin the game that kind of remixes the sphere grid, and I'm guessing for like veteran players, you can play around with that, and that can be very cool. You might not know what I'm talking about if you play the very first version of the game. Yeah, that was
Okay.
in later
Okay.
versions
Okay. I
they
got
added
you. I
that.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting from the very first European version, because we got the game a bit later here, like a
Hmm.
year later, so they
Hmm.
implemented some upgrades by the time we got here.
Oh,
But
okay.
but it's neither here nor there. I mean, for the gameplay is just, it's standard, you know, uh, turn-based, actually turn-based, no ATB, none of that. It's actually turn-based. You got all the time in the world to, choose what you want to do, and and I'm not having trouble with that. But I'm telling you, there was like certain bosses, like the very first time you fight against Seymour, the guy's a beast.
Hmm.
The guy's like one-shotting
Right.
me left and
Yeah.
right, and it's not like I'm under level. Like I had no trouble up until that point, and I'm doing decent damage to him. It's just that, and he has like 3 phases. And during the first phase, there are these 2 assholes behind him that keep healing him and keep giving him buffs. I'm like, dude, and um, and now I'm stuck. I'm not really stuck. I died once.
Hmm.
Now I'm at this one enemy. It's like a huge bird, and what you got to do is that at some point the bird will roar, and that's how
Hmm.
you know he's gonna do like a huge attack. And you're on the airship, and when the bird does that, it gives you a signal. You got to tell Sid, the captain, to like pull out, right, to make some distance between the ship and the bird. Problem is, it doesn't once you give him the order, he doesn't do it right away. No, no, no. You gotta wait a few turns. And usually this MFer, what he does, he puts haste on himself.
Hmm.
So his turn gets before Sid's turn, and he just kills me, right?
Right.
It's but no, but I like it. It's classic FF. You know, this is the first. I played. I've been playing a lot of FF, and this is the first one that I've been out of this badge, like out of the street, and I'm playing without a guide. So maybe that's why I'm having a bit of trouble. I don't know things in advance. You know, once I get how the battle works, I can make a strategy around it.
Hmm.
But I got sick of following guides. I mean,
Yeah,
after
it's
like, you know,
it's exhausting
seven game, it
after a
is
while. Yeah.
because you know you look at your screen, then you read here, then you sit here reading for 5 minutes, then you look at your game, then okay, wait, what was that again? So you read the guide again. Um, so yeah, props to guide makers, but it's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never been much into that. Every time I've ever talked to my again, not to bring up my late cousin again, but every time
Mhm.
we talk about RPGs, especially in the Final Fantasy uh, conversation, he would have every guide for every single game that came out. And he was like, "Man,
Mhm.
you wouldn't have all this trouble if you look at the guide." I'm like, "I just don't want to. I don't want to
Mhm.
read while I'm trying to play."
Mhm.
I know it's such a
Yeah.
stupid, hard headed thing. It's just
Well, I
I
mean,
just want to try to figure it out myself. Now, if it gets to the point where I'm getting my ass just obliterated, then okay, well, I'll figure it. I'll do
yeah.
something. But
Or maybe sometimes there's like some very obscure stuff,
mm-hmm,
like Riku's Limit Break. I don't know what's called in English, but it's called Cocktail. In the language I'm playing it in. Basically, what she does, she combines two items
mm-hmm,
to make something.
mm-hmm,
Based on which item, two items you picked, you get a different effect. And there's absolutely no way to know what each combination does, right?
mm-hmm,
And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna start wasting my items. Or even better, if I'm in a pinch, right? That's what limit breaks are for, to get you out of the pinch. Like I'm not gonna wing it. I'm gonna look at a guide. Have you ever seen like what any guide how any guide showcases what's Riku's limit break, how Riku's limit break works?
mm-mm, no.
Like I would like screen share it if I could. It's a it's a table, a huge, the biggest table I've ever seen. Like 20 pages of it that shows you every single combination, and I'm like, you know what, fuck that. Actually, I'm gonna wing it. It's insane.
Yeah,
Um,
the good old days. I mean,
mhm,
and that's the thing you got to appreciate about it, though. Is like, going back as far as you have,
mhm,
especially with the first six or seven. Well, I know you did the
mhm.
first six Final Fantasies, but those games are like so old. Like they don't have that modern
Hand
vibe to it.
holding, yeah.
Hand holding thing. And Final Fantasy X, even though it is more on the modern side, it still also has that same
Fuck
thing
around and
to it as
find
well.
out.
So, yeah, yeah, right. So
You
there's something to respect about those types of
know,
games,
I
and that's why it's
actually,
really fun to go back and play through them. You know.
you know what? I definitely like that a lot. I mean, as you said, the hand holding method that pretty much every game adopts is more approachable. But, and I'll tell you that, it gives me less of an incentive to replay a game,
Hmm.
right? Because what happens is that the game pretty much tells you how to beat it to an extent. Like, I mean, there is some leeway, but the game tells you, okay, the most optimal way is really to showcase to you. And there's like so many tutorials that it gets very annoying to sit through them every time you replay. Well, here there's, you can experiment a lot. I see like I keep seeing for all my life. I'm seeing like challenge runs on YouTube, and there's a bunch of them for Final Fantasy X. Like I'm sure that there's like a lot of potential that I haven't tapped into for like potential builds and very creative ways you can beat certain enemies or certain stages.
Hmm.
I think that's why Elden Ring is so. That's why I can always.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting back to Elden Ring, and every time you tell me, "Oh man, you must hate yourself," I'm like,
Hmm.
"No, it's like because that game, it is more handholdy than like other From Software titles, but it still kind of lets you fuck around and find out."
Yeah.
And as I'm getting older, I'm getting progressively, uh, I'm turning progressively into a bigger fan of fucking around and finding out. So,
I can
so there's
respect it.
that.
I respect
Yeah.
it. I respect it.
So yeah, that's the long and short of it. There might be something that I might think of something
Yeah.
later on, but that's my that's my short piece about it.
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying it.
That's good. That's
I really
good.
have, yeah.
I've been really. I mean, now with everything coming out the way it is, and just trying to catch up
Hmm.
on my own stuff, like I probably won't have the time. But that is one of those 10 and 12 specifically
Ooh,
are
12
ones
is
that
a
I
good
would
one as well.
love to go back and do a full playthrough of that. I think it would be amazing. Like, I a lot of people don't like 12. There's a whole community that does not like 12. I love the Star Wars type vibe it has.
Yeah.
Um, and I like the battle system. I think it's still kind of turn based, but also has like that real time kind of, you
No,
know,
it's yeah, it's more like strategy than
yeah.
actual battle. Like you gotta, I'm one of those that like it. But yeah, 11 forward is when Final Fantasy start to get really different. They start to experiment a lot. Some
Hmm.
people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
I respect it a lot. I think that there's like in a modern gaming landscape, it takes a lot of balls to try to do something different.
Yeah.
And most games just kind of stick to a formula, stick to what works.
Yeah. Have you heard rumblings of like because in the age of remakes and stuff, there's barely been
Uh-huh.
rumbling about Final Fantasy X getting a remake. I think that would be
Uh,
kind of sort of interesting. I mean, I don't think it
yeah,
really needs it, but I'm definitely not gonna say no to it. I mean, that's
yeah. If it's in the same vein of Seven remake, definitely. Like if it goes completely off the rails, like balls to the wall, to the point that it has a reason to exist, I'm all there for it. But you want to do it? I don't know. I've also been hearing rumblings of an FF8 remake, and then
mhm.
an FF9 remake, even an FF6 remake. So I think like whichever your favorite Final Fantasy Final Fantasy is, you've been hearing rumors of a remake of that game.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
I'm hopeful, but I won't believe it until I see it.
Just
Oh, people
just think
have
about the visuals though
yeah,
of
would be.
Final Fantasy X and like updated visuals. If it looks pretty in the base game, imagine what it would look like in the remake.
Imagine like those cutscenes, those beautiful
Yeah,
emotional dialogues
one hundred
actually
percent.
voiced properly. Imagine that.
Well, look at the background of your
Yeah, that's
picture
the
here.
one.
Imagine
Yeah, this
that.
is
I
the
mean,
one.
that looks beautiful right there. Like,
It
imagine
really
that
does.
upscaled even further.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Uh, no, and yeah, the visuals of the HD remaster I'm playing is
yeah. It's very good, isn't
I
it?
enjoy. I like them. Yeah, I
Very
like them.
good. I've
Yeah,
kind of I've kind of dicked around with it. I haven't full on like done a
uh huh.
playthrough of it, but I thought it looked amazing. I thought it looked good for the
Yeah,
time. You know.
definitely. Oh, one thing I didn't say: the animations are like super stiff.
Hmm.
They're like super, and it surprised me because Kingdom Hearts, like the very first one, it came out around the same time, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, roughly, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, if you look, the animations of that game are much better.
much better.
I think,
Yeah.
right? I
Hmm.
mean, sure, the faces are a bit fucked up, but the way the characters move is way more natural. It's more, it has a flow to it. Here, people just go and they go straight, right? um, but
Yeah.
there are certain like CGI cutscenes, and those look great.
Hmm.
Yeah, they look a bit dirty in the remaster. I think they got compressed or something like that. They got a bit fucked up, but they
Hmm.
are. I can still appreciate
Yeah.
how pretty they look.
100%, man. I think what you were talking about earlier with like the setting. I think this is one of the most. I mean, I want to say the word unique, but I think it's just so different compared to the other Final Fantasy
It is.
settings. And honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be totally against coming back to that type of setting. You know what I mean? Because I mean, we've had the
Hmm.
medieval setting, we've had the more modern
Futuristic.
setting,
Yeah.
futuristic. Yeah, I mean, I am interested to see. Like, I know we've talked about it before, but like what setting they decide to go with next. Where like what part of the world? I know it's kind of obviously fantasy, obviously no pun intended, but like I am interested to see where they go with it. I know that someone had made the mention of doing like a full on. You ever played a game called Rogue Galaxy?
I know about it, but I haven't. I've never played it.
I remember that being a blast. I think that game came out off the heels of Kingdom Hearts because it kind of has that, like Kingdom Hearts, you got Sora. Like if you're looking at a
Uh huh.
triangle, if Sora is the tip of the triangle, Donald and Goofy are the other corners of the triangle.
Okay.
Like the way they stand and everything, like in
Okay.
idle
Yeah, I know.
animation. Rogue Galaxy kind of has the same vibe. You got two idiots that are your companions, and you're playing, you're playing as I forgot what his name is, but he's kind of like he's a sky pirate essentially. And I
Okay.
love I love the atmosphere of that game. And I've always thought a Final Fantasy like in that space type
Or
of
like a space odyssey, a space
yeah. I
opera.
think I think that'd be sick. I wonder if that's where they're gonna go with next. I mean, that's the only way they could go, right?
into yeah, sooner or later everything has to go to
Everything has to
space,
go to
right?
space. Exactly.
Even
Yes.
Jason Voorhees went to space.
That's. I
Okay,
mean, it only makes sense. They went back to medieval. Like they gotta go somewhere new. Space, like full on space, would
I,
be
I
kind of sick.
I would like that. I would like that. Now I'm looking at like the cover art, overall galaxy. It has me intrigued. It's like a classic, like an old boat,
Hmm.
like a ship, right? That will go on water, but it's like sailing through the cosmic ocean of stars.
Hold on, I gotta look at the. Oh yeah. Okay, I got you.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool vibe to it. I bought it on PSN years ago, and
Uh-huh.
I started a playthrough of it and never finished it. But it's a blast though. And for the time, the visuals really hold up. So I definitely recommend it. If it's on sale, grab it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, no, dude, I love like late late gen PS2 graphics. They were peak. I
Yeah,
love them. Absolutely love them.
yeah,
I mean,
and
Kingdom Hearts, I just mentioned,
yeah, dude,
beautiful
for sure.
visuals.
Yeah, it looks very good. Yeah, yeah, that was great for being on PS2. I know everything's kind of cartoony sort of vibe to it, but the visuals look they hold up
Yeah.
really well. It's like we talked about it before. Like if you're not trying to go for lifelike, I mean,
Hmm.
look at games like Death Stranding 2. You look at the trailer for that, and you're like, holy shit, these look like real freaking people. But you know what I mean? But like you go 10 years from now, and we're gonna be like, what the crap? Like, ooh, prime example actually, based off of that. I went back to show the wife the first trailer for Death Stranding because
Uh-huh.
before Assassin's Creed dropped, I started up Death Stranding again on the PS5 with the PS5 upgrade. I was playing that a little bit, and she's watching me, and she's like, "Man, this game looks good." I'm like, "Yeah, it looks awesome." And I was like, and I went back to show her the original trailer where you got Norman Reedus, he's naked on the beach with the beach baby and everything.
Hmm.
And dude, like, it, the graphics don't look as good in that trailer as I
Yeah, you
thought they
can tell a
did. I
difference.
can tell a difference. It's nuts how things
Yeah.
like that work because I was blown away. I mean, it still looks good. Don't get me wrong, but
Hmm.
like I was blown away. But man, yeah, the new trailer makes this look very last gen, like very last gen.
Damn.
You know,
Well,
um,
yeah, it's an early build and everything. No, I mean, I've always said this, like cartoony visuals always age much better. I mean, just look at like I played like last summer, San Andreas,
mhm.
and I mean, great game and all, but like the visuals,
Mhm.
they don't look like too good, right? And that was what 2005, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
So same year as Rogue Galaxy. Just saying.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, no, 100%. That's right. But yeah, no, I think it's awesome, dude. You don't have to let me know how your playthrough finishes up. Really,
Definitely. I'm going for the 100%. You know that, right?
well, good. I'll be
Hmm.
very eager to see how that goes for you because I would love to get back into it eventually when we have another cold spell within the gaming atmosphere. But that's going to be a while, it
It
seems.
really is.
So, but yeah, that's great. That's great. So, Final Fantasy X classic. If you haven't played it, play it. If you did, congratulations, play it again because it's a good game. Um, but yeah, so
As you shadowed.
shall we move to Shadows? I know that this
Yeah,
is
I'm very
Jan's least
curious.
favorite part of the show, probably.
No. I've actually been I've been kind of looking at this game very attentively.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to hear what you got to say about it.
Well, let me give everybody some background. I know Jan already know this, but actually Jan had talked me out of my original pre-order
Oh, I
for
mean,
the game. Um,
well,
I was I wasn't no listen. I
that's
was in the
selling it
same
short.
boat.
That's not exactly what happened,
Okay,
but you go
okay,
ahead.
okay. I but no, listen. Jan didn't have a gun to my head and tell me not to pre-order it. I chose not to do it, and one of the reasons why was I don't know. Like I've played all the modern day ACs. I've actually not hated them. Now, the only one I didn't really like that everyone likes to praise is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I
Hmm.
think that game is one of the most shallow
Mm.
experiences I've ever played. But you ask everybody else, oh, the open world is beautiful, which it is. The character of Cassandra and Alexios are great characters. They're not. The, the
You know what it
combat
is?
is the best it's ever been. It's not. Like,
You know what it is? Yeah,
what is it?
I think that people are like coping because Valhalla was so bad that people are saying, you know what? No, Odyssey, that's the good one. You know, that's the
Well, that's the thing.
do.
Like, I actually don't. I don't. Origins. If you're talking about the main trilogy before Shadows, I would say
Hmm.
Origins is my favorite. I think Origins had the
Okay.
most captivating main character. Bayek of Siwa is his story is very believable. It's very dark, and it's understanding of why he's doing what he's doing. He's not even an assassin. He's a warrior. He's a Medjai, which
Right.
back during those times, they weren't assassins. They were more warriors. He just started that movement. Really, it was him
Yeah.
and his wife. Spoiler
Uh
warning.
huh.
That started the
That's why it's called
assassins.
Origins, right?
Yeah. So I really liked Origins a lot. I love that character, and I'm still sad I haven't completed the DLCs for that because I love that character so much that I just want to see how the rest of that story plays out. And everyone who has been a fan of these games has been wanting another Origin sequel, and Ubisoft is like, nah, fuck that, can't
Mhm.
do that. We can't have another Ezio on our hands. We don't want to make more money, so we're just going to go ahead and give you new characters, which they've made. They've made a lot of money. Let's be honest here.
Oh yeah.
Probably
I
a
mean,
little
even
too much.
Shadows got like a shit ton of
Exactly. Two
cash.
two
Yeah.
million 2 million sales, and today's the 24th. You know what I mean? It came out the 20th. That's a lot. That's a lot of people buying this game. So it's already looking to be a success.
Well, actually, isn't that like that's like player based, right? So some people might have gotten the game through like subscriptions.
Yeah, because you could get it through Ubisoft Plus if you wanted to. I paid full
Okay.
price for the game, but that was only because I wanted to play it on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have Ubisoft Plus on PS5, so you can't play the game as like you can't like it doesn't have that. It's only like an Xbox feature for some reason.
Yeah,
But
'cause GTA Plus is on PlayStation, which
yeah,
is weird that we don't
yeah,
got Ubisoft.
yeah. That's why like remember when we were gonna maybe talk about an episode, we decided not to because the game sucks. But
You
Star Wars Outlaws, I was
Right.
talking to Jan about maybe talking about it, and I probably hyped Jan up like, oh yeah, we don't have to buy a game. That's cool. Subscribe for
Uh-huh.
$20 and then you can delete it. Kind of find out on PlayStation you can't even do that. By which I may or may not have bought that game recently, just because
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to try it on PS5, and yeah, it still sucks anyway.
Damn.
Um,
Man, I'm glad you said that because
yeah,
I've been seeing it for a very low price. Like every time I walk by like a game store,
yeah.
so
Well, I mean, like
it's
I said,
tempting me.
the world itself, we can get into that. You might like it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm still not into that character. I can't get into her. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. Which we'll get into more characters I can't get into in a minute. So anyway, go to Shadows. I didn't know what to expect from it. I knew that from what I saw, it did look very similar to what I've played. However, I did like some of the changes. I saw the changes with stealth. I did like the combat. Looks like it's a bit more realistic, sort of. I know there's a couple different moves and stuff you can do in it that a human person could not do, no matter how athletic they are. But you're not sitting here, I don't know, pulling a freaking
Yeah.
axe out your ass and yeah, I don't know. But anyway, you're not doing that in this
I mean,
game.
video game's got a video game, right?
That's right.
I mean, even Nathan Drake does some stuff,
Oh
dude.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I love that guy, yeah. I mean, look at him, the way he's jumping and shit. Yeah. But all in all, I put about 7 hours into it, and I honestly can say I do think the game is pretty good. Um,
Okay.
I think where it's failing me right now is the story. I think the story is very whatever. Essentially, the game starts out where you're playing as Nawe, which is the female shinobi. They try to make you care about her, but I've been switching back and forth between like Japanese and the Japanese language, and then going back to
Uh-huh.
English. And
Okay.
I think they're both pretty putrid. I feel like the who they've gotten
Damn.
to do the character Nawe, I feel like she's phoning it in, but more
Mhm.
so on the English side. On the Japanese side, I feel like she's kind of a bit. I don't know. It feels a bit too anime for me the way she's talking.
Okay.
So I don't know. So I've been really like conflicted with that. So I've just been keeping on the English voice actress for now, and I'm like, yeah, this is
Do they have
rough to
like an
get through.
accent?
Um,
Because that's
a
one thing
little.
that I could never like stand in like most times like in American media, right? Where it has like a setting that is not where people are not English speakers, right?
Mhm,
But they obviously still speak English, right?
mhm.
But they don't speak actual English. They speak English the way they would have spoken it if those characters were speaking English, if that makes sense, right?
Hmm.
So they're not speaking their language. They're not speaking English. They're speaking English with an accent. That I
Yeah,
always found that a bit. In Origins, they talk like that, right? It's like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
Daddy,
yeah.
are you gonna be a Magi soon?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Are you
They
gonna be
do
a
talk.
Are you
They do.
gonna...
That was really good. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They do. Yeah, yeah. That's funny. That you sounded really realistic too.
Thank you.
Were you a voiceover for the game? That'd be wild. You
Oh,
just been hiding that on me
imagine,
the whole
imagine. No,
time. You
you couldn't get me in trouble. I signed, an NDA, so I can't.
okay? All right. But yeah, so I think the story is not super is not really hooking me, but there's a lot of things it is. I think the environment is super beautiful.
Hmm.
However, I think that the NPCs and the player
uh,
characters are not the most expressive field. I've had that issue with Ubisoft games in general, really, for the past few years. I think
hmm.
they want to make these beautiful ass environments, like next level graphic crazy environments, but they cannot for some reason get like the human face down that well.
Okay.
So that's kind of been taking me out of it. The combat and stealth is the selling point,
But
100%.
what's that? Can you tell me more about the story? Because I'm really interested.
No, you're not.
What's the story? No, no, I am. What's the story?
So, in a very generic fashion,
Okay.
Nawe's father gets killed in a and so let me preface this by saying Nawe is already like a pretty skilled fighter as it is. Like she's
Okay.
already like she was raised to be like she's raised by the sword kind of thing. So she's already
Okay.
pretty adept in combat. So it's not like you meet the assassins, then you get adept later. It's more like she's already like a, a lethal badass from the start. But her dad ends up getting killed. Very beginning, her whole village burns down. Same shit you've seen 1,000
Right.
times in these
But
games and many others.
yeah, I mean, you gotta burn the village that
You
to
got
start
to,
like the main character arc.
got
That's
to.
the
Um, so your dad, when he's dying on the ground, he tells you to go to this as he's dying. He's like because the whole town's getting infiltrated by what seemingly seems to be the Templars, but it actually bring real history into it, like Lord Nobunaga and all that. So
Okay.
they
So
kind
we're
of
not talking about European Templars. You're talking about some kind of
mhm,
Japanese
yeah,
variant.
yeah.
Okay.
So he says that before they find this box, I need you to go get it. Gives her the hidden blade. She doesn't know what it
Okay.
is, other than the fact it's a blade on his wrist. Gives it to her. She goes, finds his box, unlocks the door, and there's a box in there. She goes to grab it, and she gets attacked from the back by this soldier. And I guess the dad didn't really die, so he followed her to the cave, ends up
Okay.
jumping out in front of her as she's about to get shot, and she dies. And
Wait, who dies?
the dad dies. So the dad didn't
Again.
die right there when he was like, "Go find that box, please." And so anyway, the box has like the assassin logo on it. When it come to they didn't come out and say it, but this box definitely has like a piece of Eden or something like that. You know how
That's
these
what I
games
thought
are.
too. Yeah, as soon
Um,
as you brought it up.
but they didn't show it. But anyways, the first the first main mission I just finished was like finding the person who killed your dad.
Hmm.
Uh,
But wait,
and
sorry for interrupting, but like,
yeah, go ahead.
what were they like? Naue, what's her name?
Yeah, no way. Yep.
No, what were they like? Were they like, wealthy people? Were they
No, they're like. I mean, they just look like they were in like a small village. I mean, look like they were kind of
like
like.
humble?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you're saying she was trained by the sword. Like not any common peasant would get that kind of training.
yeah, yeah. I mean, well, she's like. I mean, they're living in huts and shit. They're not living like in a
Hmm.
kid. Sorry, that sounds terrible. They're not
But
living
okay,
in bad conditions, but it's like her dad is like obviously he's supposed to be like some kind of he was in the assassin the hidden ones, the
cult.
assassins, whatever it
Okay,
is,
yeah.
the cult.
Well, it is.
He was part of that at some point, but then he's also some kind of general. Again, it's not
Okay,
making much sense to me
so he's
because
military.
yeah, sure, yes.
Okay.
Are you actually interested in you being a smartass? Because I
No,
can't
I'm
tell.
not. I'm trying to understand the story, dude.
I don't understand it because it's not good. I think that's like the least important part of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, I have nothing gripping me to the story at all. Like there's just nothing. I feel like I've seen this shit 1,000 times. Um, So
Okay.
let me
So
remember here.
how do you introduce okay, how do you introduce Yasu Yasu what's his name
Yasuke.
again?
Yasuke.
Yasuke.
So you play as him for like the first 3 minutes of the game.
Okay.
He's pretty
Like a cold
much
open.
yeah, yeah. Essentially, you're working for Nobunaga. Obviously, that's part of history. You know,
Okay,
Nobunaga
okay.
takes interest in Yasuke, but
Oda
obviously,
Nobunaga, like
yeah,
the okay.
yeah the one, yes. Um, but obviously, it's we don't know as far as real history. We don't know where Yasuke was at. We don't know if he's on the front lines. We
Hmm.
don't know if he was taking a shit back home. We don't know what was going on. But in this, he's a badass, and you start mowing down some fools. I actually recorded some gameplay of a couple decapitations and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty sick. Um, but I haven't seen him since. I've been playing
Hmm.
with Nawe ever since. I don't know when I'll see Yasuke. I heard that apparently you got to get like 7 or 8 hours into the main story before you
Oh
even unlock him.
man. Okay.
Um, but anyway, that's like
Okay.
the basis of it, and that's as far as I'm into the. And so essentially, in a very general fashion, after you kill your father's murderer, it's obviously a bigger ploy. There's a bigger part of the Templars. It's a
Okay.
big connection, big ring that you have to kill like 11 masters or whatever. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And right
Hmm.
now, in my current mission I'm on, is I'm trying to get aid because in this game this is where the more interesting things happen. So,
Okay.
we were talking about hand holding, not really telling you where to go. This game doesn't
Hmm.
tell you where to go. As a
Okay.
matter of fact,
In a
it
Ubisoft
honestly,
game.
I
So.
know, and honestly,
Hmm.
it honestly encourages you to explore. It encourages you to listen out when you're walking through a village. Listen out to people's conversations, eavesdrop, and you'll be able to find where to go next. They also have a very cop out system that they kind of play it cool into the story, but it's still kind of a cop out. Is like you can get these people called scouts, and these scouts can, let's say, if you know of a general direction of where you got to go, you can send a scout to wherever you need to go, and it'll open up the map, so they'll actually be able to pinpoint closer where your assailant is or wherever your target is, wherever you have to go to next for a mission.
Okay.
So it's a bit more involved. It's not as like, okay, here's where you got to go here. Here's where you got to go here. It's more of this is their general direction. Go to that area, talk to people, listen in on conversations, use your eagle vision to see if you can see. Because in this game, there's no big flying bird drone thing that's in the sky where you can pinpoint a bunch of enemies. In this one, all you have is your eagle vision. So you can see where enemies are at, but you can also find places of interest and things like that. And honestly, so far, that hasn't got boring to me. I've actually enjoyed looking for what my destination is. I've enjoyed asking people in villages like, "Hey, where is so and so?" And a lot of times they don't know, so you have to put together the clues to go find whoever you're looking for. Um, there's definitely a difficulty curve, especially if you're playing on expert mode. I'm playing on expert difficulty because I heard going into it that the normal mode, the NPCs are like really stupid, like really
Hmm.
really bad. Um,
To
in
like
X,
wait for their turn to attack
yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
In expert mode, you will get flanked. In expert mode, they can see you crossing rooftops. Um, in expert mode, they're just more lethal in general. Nawe can only take like 3 hits, especially where I'm at in the game. I don't have the best armor in the game or anything yet, so 2 or 3 hits, she's out of commission. So that kind of makes it fun. You kind of get your parrying right, figure out how you're going to go into a situation. So that's been really really fun to do because it's a bit more methodical, especially stealth. And I was talking about that before. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole game so far, stealth, because depending on what time of day it is, if it's at nighttime, you can throw your I can't remember the name for them, but it's pretty essentially you're throwing knives. A kunai, I think is what it is.
Kunai. Yeah, yeah.
You can throw those to cut out lights. That way you can go under a bridge while
Hmm.
somebody's walking across. I think that's so cool.
That's
It's
nice.
super
Yeah.
immersive. I like that. Um, Nawe's gameplay in general is really fun. Sometimes it can be a bit stiff, but she's the fastest assassin we've ever had, which makes sense. She's smaller in stature. You know,
Hmm.
she's shorter. She can kind of get through things a little bit quicker than, let's say, like Ezio or Connor, Edward, any of these other assassins that came into the game. But and the weapon types are fun. You got a katana. You have a dagger type weapon. I forgot what that's called. But got that. My favorite is there's like this mace type thing. It has a blade on the end of it. Like she holds it with this hand and has like a blade on it, and then she has this hand and she can kind of take her like
Oh,
hand
all
like
right.
this and makes like a chain, and you can sit there and like hit enemies from a distance. And I haven't unlocked a lot of abilities yet, but I've seen some of the stuff you can do. You can grab somebody's legs, jerk it out from under them, bring them to you. Um, you
Okay,
can
that's
choke
nice.
somebody from a distance. You can slash somebody from a distance. A lot of good damage, a lot of blood. It's very very gory for an Assassin's Creed game. I was actually surprised by the amount of gore in it, which is not a bad thing in my book. I love that. So I think from a combat movement standpoint, I love the way Nawe moves. She's super agile. I love it. Like I'm she reminds me of Aloy, the way Aloy can move in like Horizon. I have a lot of problems with Horizon, but one of the problems I don't have is how Aloy moves her combat.
Mm-hmm,
This
mm-hmm.
kind of gives me the same thing. Even
Or
though I
like
would,
run and slide,
yeah,
stuff like that.
she
Mm-hmm.
just feels very very smooth and she feels deadly and it feels believable too. Like she's a little assassin, you know. You would think these big
Mm-hmm.
dudes would be able to manhandle her. They can. It's not like you're gonna be sitting there mowing down dudes. Don't get me wrong. If you're good at it, you'll be able to. But that only makes sense. If you're a deadly assassin, you should be
Right.
able to. That like there's part where I was hiding in some deep grass. This big ass soldier came to me. I went to go assassinate him. When I did, he caught my arm and kicked me back. Like he saw me coming. He stopped me, pushed me back, and then we got
Like
into
the
a combat.
animations are so detailed.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. It's
pretty.
good. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen
So
some combat of it, and it did look pretty good. Like it
yeah.
looks smooth.
hmm
Uh,
I just spit water everywhere, but yeah, it's very smooth. It's just not. It's not like a lot of people comparing this to Ghost of Tsushima, and that's a wrong thing to do because Ghost of Tsushima is more cinematic combat. AC is RPG combat. Enemies take more than one hit, but they're not damage spongy though. That is the thing. They're not damage spongy, but they do take more than one hit. In Ghost of Tsushima, they do also take more than one hit, but it's just a different vibe to it. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Like there's
definitely.
more of
No,
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's more
yeah,
hack and slash in
yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I think from a gameplay standpoint, it's great. The only thing I will say is they took out you can't climb everything. Like how they've been doing for like really since Origins is that you've been able to climb everything. Like if there's a boulder, there's like some magic handhelds, and you can just sit there and just crawl up that bitch no problem. In this game, it is not that. You cannot do that. So you actually have to find your way to your objective in a more slower pace. You might have to get on your horse and go around this big cliff as opposed to climb right over it. I
It's
like
probably
that.
for the best, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It makes for easier like level design, right? It's easier to make.
yeah, yeah. I like it.
If you can
I
choose
like that.
whatever you want, then it gets,
hmm
it takes out the challenge a bit.
Yeah, I think I like that. It does make you slow down a little bit, you know, and I think you need that because this game is kind of fast paced, especially when you get into the nick of combat. You'll get swarmed easily. You'll have like 10 guys. Like, and I mean, like again, Nawe can only get hit like 3 times, and she's already out of commission. So, um, I think from a combat standpoint, it's really really good. Honestly, it's the best it's been since Origins, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Stealth is way better than Origins. It's better than Odyssey, and it's damn sure better than Valhalla. Um, but I think where it's really fallen for me is the story. I think the story. That's why I'm having a hard time reciting it to you because I just don't feel like it's
It's just
interesting.
boring.
Now,
Yeah, I
what
get
I
it. Yeah.
heard was Yasuke's story. I hear that's way better. So I'm actually excited to see what happens with him. You know, what are some liberties they're going to take with him, and how's that play into assassins and everything. And I like Nawe. I do like her really. I think she's badass because she's so small but yet so
Hmm.
lethal, and I think that's sick.
Right.
Plus, it does
Yeah,
help.
the Yoda
She's also
concept.
kind of
Yeah.
cute too, so that helps.
Of
But
course.
but yeah, she's very very nimble and fast, and I like that kind of combat. You know what I mean? I think it's one reason why I like Doom Eternal so much because you're so fast and everything. And this is very believable. It's not like she's not taking on big burly dudes and get and whooping at like you actually have to be like kind of smart with
Work
how
for it.
you yeah
Get it.
yeah. So
That's
I
actually
like
interesting
everything.
that you
The
said that.
story is the only thing. Sorry, the last thing is the story is the only thing. It's just really really slow for me. But
Uh
everything
huh.
else, I really enjoyed. I do like it.
But people say that Yasuko's story is more interesting. You say.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, what I've heard. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not discrediting that. But I did hear that like playing as Yasuke is like more miserable than playing as Na
Nawe.
Naoe. I mean, everything you described about what makes playing as Naoe fun. Yasuko doesn't have that. He's again. This is what I hear. Just like word of mouth. He's like a big burly dude. Not as agile, not as nimble, not as fast.
Hmm.
So it's kind of it's kind of a tank. So I'd be curious to hear what you think about it when you get there
Yeah,
about his
yeah.
gameplay.
Yeah, so like I said, I played like at the beginning of the game, you play as him for like 2 or 3 minutes, and it's definitely brutal. It's definitely brash. You can run through walls and stuff. I think
Oh
that's when it
man.
starts to take me out of it a little bit because I kind of prefer the more nimble stealth approach. However, his combat very it reminds me of Ghost of Tsushima more than anything. The way he's holding his sword, some of the attacks you can do looks
Yeah,
very
he's a
Jin.
samurai, right?
Yeah, he looks very Jin Sakai to me, just way bigger, way more burly. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how he plays when you start unlocking more abilities and things like that. Because I think now that I'm not gonna lie to you, like I still am. I was having a super hard time with the combat because Nawe is
Oh yeah.
just again, she's just not. She can only take 3 hits. I mean, you cannot get hit with her, especially if you're fighting. Let's say if like I think I just now got up to like a level 9. If you're fighting somebody like that's like a level 11 or so, I mean, they hit you once. It's like you're already like gasping
At your
for
feet.
air at this point.
Mm.
Um, so I you kind of have to be a bit more strategic. And if you when you strike, you have to commit. You know what I mean? You can't like block out of it, which you can't block with Nawe anyway. All you can do is counter. You can't block. Um,
Mm.
but
Oh,
that's
okay, that's
but that's
interesting.
that's gotten me killed a couple times because I've tried to like counter, and before Nawe can reset her feet and counter again, I get hit. So you kind of have to
Mm.
be smart with how you counter because if you get a perfect counter, the time will slow down a little bit and you can kind of go in for a critical hit. But if you don't, like, yeah, you sit there and you really open yourself up for a big attack. So combat and stealth, it's not much for me to really complain about. I think it's just a story, and that's the part that I'm really worried about. Is that especially with how uh, tight my time is, I can't afford to play a game where the story is just like eh. I'm hoping I have more attachment to it as I play because I really would like to, but I am hearing it, and it really does suck. Can we just talk about this for a second, just to get off that? So overall, I like it overall. Um, but I
Uh,
got to see how the story goes out. So it sucks about the controversy for this game. It really does
what do you
suck.
mean?
So really, honestly, I think a lot of people are even getting demonetized for talking about it on like channels and stuff like that because of just the there's a lot of like political stuff involved with this. Apparently, this is the most woke game of all time because
I mean, you're
apparently
playing as a black guy and a girl. Come on, what's more woke than black guys and and women? I'm
black
not kidding.
black guys and
I'm
women.
not kidding. This is
Yeah,
this is what what people who say woke are
yeah,
have a problem with.
yeah.
Did you know? I'm sorry to interrupt
Oh
you,
yeah,
but
go ahead.
this is pertinent to what you're saying. Did you know that these people, these I don't know what to call them, have made a site? It's like an index of video games, and think media in general, but I've seen only about video games. And you put the title of a game in this index, and it tells you whether it's woke or not. And if it like, according to their arbitrary definition, and if it is woke, it tells you like everything that have problem with, right? I'm telling you, dude, like almost any game that you and I enjoy are woke by these guys. Like FF7 remake, it's
Hmm.
woke as hell. Cloud dresses as a girl. Um, fucking like I don't like, dude.
Yeah.
It's dystopic almost that some people like firmly believe in it. It's like looking at a cult.
Hmm.
But you go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
What
it's
you were
just
saying?
like it's just really lame because it's like I, my only thing is like when you have a badass female like Nawe, I
Hmm.
don't know. So what I was gonna say before that, before you mentioned that was like one of the main things is these games usually have like optional love interest if you want
Hmm.
to do it. 9 times out of 10, these go absolutely fucking nowhere. Like it doesn't even matter.
Of
Like
course,
if you like,
because
nobody cares. Like it's not like it's Fallout. It's not like it's Skyrim or anything like that. Literally, you can sit here, sleep with somebody, and never talk to them for the rest of the game, and they wouldn't even fucking exist. You know what I mean? Cyberpunk does the
yep.
same thing. I love Cyberpunk. Like it's one of my
Oh yeah.
favorite games I've played in recent memories. Every love interest in that game, it doesn't even freaking matter. You ain't got to talk to that bitch no more if you don't want to. You know what I mean? You don't have to. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it,
I mean that's what sucks. It's really difficult to implement it, right? You
yeah,
have like
yeah.
so much possible, possible options, and all of them actually mattering, like having an actual impact on the game world. No, I get it. It's tough, but it, it is funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like every game, with the exception of Origins, because Origins you're married, you actually have a wife in that game.
Yeah.
Odyssey
Right.
and Valhalla, like they had love interests, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like they go nowhere. All you're doing is
Right.
banging, and that's it. Like it doesn't even matter. And so Shadows has the same thing. I think that's at least that's what I heard. Like Nawe, you can. This is all I know. I don't know if there's like a male and female love interest for Nawe, but apparently you can make out with and get with some chick in that game if you play as
Uh-huh.
her, and then if you play as Yasuke, apparently you can have a love interest with a
Some guy, some
particular
dude
person that may or may not have said they transitioned. I don't know. I haven't heard.
in
I don't know
feudal
that.
Japan.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know the details of that. I know that the character that he has a love interest that you can have a love interest for. He the character does look maybe, but I don't know. Like it's hard to tell. A lot of people like
Okay.
to make jokes and make fun of that kind of thing. But
Well, not only
anyway,
that, I think people blow it out of proportion.
right, 100%.
Like you
And
remember
because it's
when
all optional.
everybody
It's
says that
all optional.
Abby's a trans woman when actually,
Yeah.
right? I think it's something like in that vein, maybe.
It might be. It might be. But I mean, like, even if that is an option, okay, and that is
Hmm.
that would be kind of, especially in feudal Japan, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I have a hard time believing that.
But even if that was the case, it's optional. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, how much of a virgin are you?
Well. Their idea is that it's like poisoning the minds of the casual customer or something
Hmm.
like that, right? Like they hate seeing because it's like they feel it's like seeping into the mainstream, right? And they hate that. They want
Hmm.
the status quo when all the main I don't know where every single romantic depiction is heterosexual and leading every single lead is a white guy, I guess.
Hmm.
They would never admit it. They would never say it like that, but it's pretty much what it is, right?
Yeah, and I think
Or
it's
is very
it
real.
and it is kind of like, and I don't again, I don't know if there's like a male love interest for Nawe, but
So
what were we
no,
gonna
no, I
say?
just
Go
want to
ahead.
ask. So you said some from what you heard, there is a love interest for a potential love interest for Yasuke that so is like from what you heard, it's like somewhere in between genders,
Yeah, sure.
but they
Yeah,
look like a guy or a chick. What's
I
looks like a
guess
guy?
they look more like a guy, but the
Okay,
guy looks has very like feminine type features. I guess you could say like
okay, okay.
not necessarily the fact that he's got a long hair, but it's just the way the hair is sitting, the way the character talk, like kind of like
I
you know what
get
I
it.
mean.
Okay, I get it. Yeah,
You know
no,
what
I
I'm
get what
saying?
you mean. Okay.
Um, I haven't run into that. Obviously, I haven't played as Yasuke enough to really get to that
Hmm.
point. But but again, even if it is in the game, like you don't have to flirt with these
Right.
people unless you really want to. Like I don't get it.
And again, as you said, like all these options are pretty meaningless in the big scheme of things. It doesn't play a big role at all, even if you do go along with it. So
I just wish they stopped giving people even the choice to do that at this point because it's such a unless either commit or don't. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like
Yeah, no,
that
definitely. Yeah,
if you're gonna give us a choice, make it really full out. Like make it like maybe there's perks, right? If I get with this person, maybe like something my dick will
or a
be bigger or
slightly
something like that.
alternate ending, right?
Oh,
Like give something like that, like make it actually have an impact maybe on the story, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
just but as you said, yeah, you put it very nicely. Yeah, you just bang these person, whoever it is, and then you never talk to them
Yeah.
again.
Like I
It's
literally in
what?
Valhalla, I was like, because I played as male. I played as male Eivor. I didn't play as the female
Uh-huh.
one because I thought the male one was canon, but apparently it's not. Playing as female Eivor is. I'm like, okay, well, what's the point of making a choice then? Anyway,
Right, right. I
that's the
mean,
dumbest thing I've ever
okay,
heard,
like
dude.
Shadows has the same thing, doesn't it? I know that there's a you can
There's a
toggle an
there,
option where the game chooses
yeah.
the canon choice for you. What?
There's a canon,
What?
yeah. There's a canon mode, and
What?
the reason why I'm not playing on it is because I cannot get a clear answer from anyone. In canon mode, does it make me play as someone for a certain amount of time, or what? Because
No,
nobody
I
can
think it.
answer that question.
Well, no, no. From what I understand, it's more about like certain choices you get throughout the game. Like the game makes the choices for you. It sets you on the true path. From my understanding of it, but I
Yeah,
haven't looked too
that's what I
much
keep
into it.
hearing.
So
But every time I ask somebody, okay, well, does that change like who you play with? Nobody can give me an answer. So like, I just didn't pick that mode. I was just like,
I
well,
get it.
I just don't want to like do something as Nawe and they make me play as Yasuke or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because now Nawe is my character. Like she's my
Yeah, I thought you could like switch. It's kind of like in Syndicate,
yeah
where you can switch,
yeah
at your own leisure.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of goofy the
Yeah.
way they do it too. It's not like like you never played GTA 5 or Spider-Man 2 is a better example of it. Like
Okay.
when you're
Okay. Yeah.
switching from Peter and Miles, like Miles is doing his thing over here, and then you got Peter
Okay.
doing his thing over here. In Shadows, if you pick a different character, it just your Nawe will vanish and Yasuke is right in her
Well,
place.
you know what I've seen? I've seen. So from what I understand, Yasuke is not as skilled with like climbing as now is. So
Mhm.
now I can get into places that Yasuke can't. But you can climb that whatever it is as now, and then switch to Yasuke and have Yasuke in a place where he shouldn't be. Uh, so
Can
yeah,
you?
very
Oh,
goofy.
that's
I
kind of
never remember
funny.
that.
So you can
Yeah,
do that.
no, yeah. I mean, at least I don't know if it's like in. I think it's in the final game. It's like one of the previews that I looked into because I did look into them because I told you I'm actually somewhat interested in this game, and I've seen that. I've seen people do that.
That's funny. I might have to try that when I unlock him. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
just
gotta.
perch her at the highest building in the
Yeah,
game and then
it's like
switch.
him like trying to like balance, like in the top of like one of those houses.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. I haven't really been able to play with him. I know that they just based off a little bit I played it with Yasuke. They definitely feel different. I will say I wish Yasuke felt. I only played it for 3 minutes, so I apologize, but I hope he feels a bit more weighty, especially with as big and
hmm
hulking as this guy is, because Naoi's very quick, so it's okay. I expect her attacks to feel very quick, but with Yasuke, with how powerful he is, I do hope it's a little bit more like weighty with every slash of the sword, or you're using the big mace or whatever. But yeah, no, I think from a gameplay standpoint, and world, I think world is beautiful, and I don't want to go as far as saying it feels alive. I don't want to go as far as that because
mm
Ubisoft worlds very rarely feel that way nowadays. But from a aesthetic standpoint, it's hard to beat. And then also too, when you're in a village or whatever, hearing NPCs talk and actually give you different like little tidbits of things going on around the world. I saw one where like I didn't come across it yet in my playthrough, but apparently someone was playing and they heard these two people talking about this samurai on a bridge and he won't let anybody cross and he's like killed everybody who's come across him. And so you end up traveling and you end up finding him and you see all these dead bodies just all over the
Damn,
place on this bridge and the samurai's there and you have to fight him. And I'm sure he's got some good loot on him. But I like stuff like that. It's
I
not
do.
telling you
Yeah,
where to go. It's just telling you sort of where he's at and you end up coming across him and like I think those moments are fantastic. I
yeah.
just
When you
think they
figure out
really
stuff
I
for
just think
yourself,
they kind of
that's
shit the
amazing.
bed with the story so far.
I
It
get it.
feels just
I get
very
it.
generic. It feels very just
I mean,
I've done it.
I mean that's what I've heard too. Yeah, the story is like not what you play this game for.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely like if you I think definitely if you don't spend $70 on it, I think you're fine. I think anybody who's got any interest in it, it comes down to 50. I think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it from $50 for sure. Because I think you're gonna have more than enough stuff to do. I think you're gonna have more than enough fun with the combat. Now here's the thing: 20 hours down the road, 30 hours down the road. I don't know what that looks like
Might
as
be
far as
different.
combat stuff. But
Hmm
someone who's played it for 7 hours, I'm still on that in that honeymoon phase, and I really really do like what I'm playing. So I'll definitely stick with it. But the gears are about to shift soon because our next show is going to be the first Berserker, and I've been
Oh,
really looking
definitely.
forward to that game for a while. I know Jan has heard me talk about it several times. I really like the studio. I like the art style. Um, yeah, I like it. I like it all. I like
No, no,
the main character, the main voice actor. I love Ben Starr. He's a great seems like a great guy, and I'm gonna support him, dude. He's in Expedition 33. That's another game that's gonna be good with him in it.
right?
Um, so I'm
No,
excited.
you definitely talked me into pre-ordering it and getting my copy later this year. So later this week.
I'm about to
Yeah,
say,
yeah, like,
yeah. I,
yeah.
I think it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be one of those games that we're gonna look back on after we finish and be like, man, that wasn't our most
What a
anticipated, but
ride,
it was
huh?
one of the best games we played this year for sure. I just it's
Okay.
quality. It just looks quality, man. The combat looks great. The
Now you're
bosses look
hopping it up.
awesome. I played the
Mm-hmm.
demo. It's very God of War like, very God of War like,
God,
but it is a bit
I've
different though. It's
you know
awesome.
I've been missing some of that in my life, especially with all these RPGs I've been playing. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. To get
they
back into
better
that
not
hack and
suck.
slash, Lost Soul
They better.
aside, dude.
Oh, I mean that's some what do you call it, some days away, right? That's like what 30th May.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's like a lifetime from now.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of good things to talk about. I hope the first Berserker is not a because I played the demo and it was definitely had a difficulty curve, but it was definitely
Uh-huh.
doable if you used every tool at your disposal. I hope it's not like ball scraping hard. Like I hope it's hard, but I don't want it to be like ball scraping hard to the point where it's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
only
they
have
get a
like
bit irritated
I
when you
only
get
have
there,
like an
you
hour to play and I'm getting my ass really really kicked, like not making any progress. And I get it. Some of that is you know, that's some games out there like that that just happens. But I hope it's not to that extent. I do hope it's got a good difficulty curve. I do want that,
Mm.
but I just
I
don't
hope it
want my.
doesn't suck.
I don't think it'll suck.
Okay, you better not, because I'm putting a lot of faith into it, a lot of faith into you. This is your recommendations, so I mean,
I really, based off what I played in the demo, I don't think you're going to be disappointed, man. I think
awesome.
the the gameplay style, the visuals and everything, it's freaking awesome. Now, as far as story goes, this might be another AC Shadows thing. Like, might have great
Oh,
gameplay, but I don't know about the story. I know it's based off
what
a bigger world, but I don't know anything about Kazan. I don't know anything about this guy at all.
what is this? It's I'm trying to remember which game world it's set in.
Is it Path of
It's
Exile?
no, no. It's like some MMO that I've absolutely never ever heard about.
Oh, that's right. We
I'll
looked into it. We looked into it. That's right.
yeah, I'll look into it. Well, let me the first verse. Come on, there's no
Yeah,
Wikipedia page for it. Come on.
yeah, it's pretty trash. This is like
Are
literally
you
probably one of the best games that will come out this year, and there's no wiki page for it.
what? How am I supposed to know it exists? I mean, if it does it even exist if it's not on Wikipedia? Come on. Dungeon Fighter Online. Ever heard
Oh
of that one? I sure as hell
no, fuck no,
haven't.
no, no.
And
I
I'm usually the guy who knows. I usually
usually
like
yeah.
it. Yeah,
I,
so this is Cuddle
I,
Guard there.
yeah, I'm a little disappointed that you don't know because I was hoping you were going to
Oh,
be
but
able to give me like a little bit of a
um,
rundown
some
of the
background,
lore.
yeah.
But I don't know shit about this.
Actually, Dungeon Fighter Online has a. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm even trying to look into it now. Let's see. He was once celebrated as the hero who saved the empire from the fearsome berserk dragon. However, the jealousy of those around him brought about his demise. Falsely branded a traitor and mercilessly tortured, he was exiled to the snowy mountains with severed tendons in both arms.
Damn. You know what I'm gonna tell you? That.
You said, "Damn."
I mean, do you know how much that? I mean, if they sever your tendons, you can't even use those arms.
Yeah.
Back when I was really scared about like getting drafted and shit. I was actually like that was like 2 years ago. I mean, it sounds like it has subsided now,
Yeah.
but back then I was seeing another girl, and she was practicing. She was studying medicine, right?
Hmm.
She graduated in the meantime. But back then, when we were seeing each other, she was like, "Okay, so if that happens, right? You don't even work, like don't even trip. Like go to me. I'll sever like a tendon in your leg, which will make you like clinically handicapped, right? You'll see able, you'll be walking on crutches. I can get it fixed for you, but uh, point is they can't draft you, right?
Mm,
Because you're pretty much handicapped. So
right.
if they do that to your arms, you cannot move them. I don't know how this guy is doing all the things he's doing with severed tendons.
He's a beast, and he's got long white hair. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know
it
you
was
gotta have
cool.
a you gotta have a badass and long white hair. You have
Well,
to.
I'll tell you about the story. Like, I'm actually kind of hopeful about it because God of War,
I hope
the
it'll be
original
good.
ones, the original, the Greek ones, they have a really simple story, but it works. So I kind of think that when it comes to like those kind of games, kind of the hack and slash, just insane murderous guy like going on a rampage, that's not too hard to make interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. 100%. And I think the what I played in the demo, you know, again, I know you were trying to stay away from it. I don't want to give too much
No,
away,
no, no,
which
no. So
the
feel free.
story, I don't fucking know, F it. But as far as like the weapons, it has
Hmm.
good variety with weapons.
Oh
Matter of
yeah,
fact, I think one of my builds was I had like a giant axe in one hand, and I had like a broadsword in one hand.
you can dual wield.
Yeah, you can dual wield. You got there's also like two-handed weapons, obviously. You know, it's got your
Hmm.
standard stuff like that. I know one is like a mace. I know you got a mace in one hand, a shield in the other.
So
Um,
it's kind of RPG
yeah, yeah.
like. Okay,
There's
okay.
upgrades, there's different skills, you know, things you've
All
seen a
right,
bunch
all
of times
right.
before. Like I don't know if this game's gonna completely reinvent the wheel, but from a music, gameplay, combat, like it just I feel like it's gonna hit every nail. I just story is the only thing I don't know because I just don't know how much you need to know in order to enjoy it. I don't know how much they've really delve into the lore of this. I imagine not much because nobody I don't think a lot of people have heard of that game, but maybe they have. I don't know. Maybe we're just uncultured swine who don't
Well,
pay
probably
attention.
are, but I don't. I mean, usually as someone who has delved into like games that have they're part of like an extended universe, usually it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you do know about the lore, then you get some cool callbacks. But besides that, it's like whatever. Have you seen like this year or maybe by the end of last year there was like a new Lord of the Rings animated movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah, yeah, I know what you're
Well,
talking about. I've seen
but
the
usually,
trailer for it.
well, I've seen it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't need to have watched or read the Lord of the Rings to understand what's going on. But if you do, then you get some cool callbacks. Like you get there's a scene with some orcs and or trolls.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot
Mm-hmm.
exactly what they're called,
Mm-hmm.
and like the main character, she's listening in what they're saying, and they're going like and they're like looking for something, like they're looting corpses, and they go, I just don't understand why they're making us look for rings, right? Why they're making us search for, stuff like that. I think that's what
So
what
okay,
they
so
were doing.
you're saying that even if you don't know the original material, the
You can still
stuff
understand their
old
story.
fans they'll be like, "Holy shit, that's cool! I haven't heard that in 20 years." And then for us, we're gonna be like, "Yeah, we don't get it."
Exactly, pretty much, but
I
we
got
won't even get that there's something to get, right?
you. Mm-hmm.
I think there'll be like throwaway lines or
Yeah,
some of that, or like some detail in the environment, maybe.
man, you got me wanting to play this tonight, man. I might maybe after I got to do some shopping and some stuff like that. Maybe I'll go check it
Oh,
out after
oh, why
that.
not? I mean, I tell you, I'll probably get in more hours than you, anyways, because I got more free time than you. So you might wanna
Yeah, just take
get
yeah, go
in.
ahead and get a head
Yeah,
start.
yeah,
Yeah,
I say.
take a break from shadows and play that bitch. I mean, dude, take a break from. If you're gonna take a break from something, the first Berserker is the game to play, in my opinion. I'm
Definitely.
really excited to dive into it. I'm scared to take that leap because I don't know if I when I'll be able to get out of it. I really feel like it could be that game. I played the demo and I loved it. Like so, it seems like you got some little bit of racket going on there.
A little bit.
Well, look, we won't keep this thing going too long. I promised the wife I was going to try to be out here about 3:30 my time, which is saying they
All
say
right,
3:23 here. So,
we're getting there.
but I think that's all I got for Assassin's Creed Shadows, man. I think all in all, if anybody out there interested, wait till it comes down to $50 and scoop it. I hope this isn't the end because I like what they're doing here. I think whatever Ubisoft does next, if they can just get a little bit better in the story department, keep the stealth gameplay. Don't touch that. Leave that alone. If
Hmm.
anything, make the AI even more smart. Like make them even
Hmm.
smarter. Just make them more aware where you're at, where you have to really be more pick and choosy on how you tackle a certain objective. I think it could be really, really interesting. If you could give me a good Ezio Altair story, we just cannot seem to get that. You know, what I mean, I'm not going to act like the original games were like grade A cinema, okay? But what I will say is those stories were super interesting and they were rooted in history. However, you had the supernatural, magical stuff
Hmm.
too with the animus. And I think this is so sick. I can already tell you right now, Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to have that level of storytelling, and it's definitely not going to have any of that cool animus stuff that they've been desperately, desperately missing from this series for a long time. But
Hmm.
I think this is a good step in the right direction, though. I do see it. But despite all the bullshit that this game is getting, all the woke propaganda and all that stuff,
Of
which who
course.
cares even what that is even anymore. This game is it's a good game.
Nobody
I
knows.
I'm enjoying it. I don't again, I was talking about reinventing the wheel. I don't think it does that. But I think it's moving in the right direction, you know? And I would like to see the potential. I hope this isn't the end of Ubisoft because this could very well be the end. I don't know.
Yeah, we've
I
got
don't
a
know.
lot of people rooting for their bankruptcy too. It's kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of sad.
It's really
Yeah,
sad, man. Because I think it's like the, it's like Fast and Furious, right? Now look how many movies they've made of that.
right.
We make fun of them so much, but one day they'll be gone, and we'll be like,
We'll miss them.
damn, I miss those
Hmm.
trash ass movies.
Hmm.
Same way, same way with Assassin's Creed. Even though this game is not trash, I feel like it's moving in the right direction. So definitely, I recommend it to you, Jan. It comes down to price, scoop it up. Why not?
We
You
don't.
know?
No, you know what? I think at some point, just because I think my mania, my archivist mania, will get to me, and I want to play like a shit ton of Assassin's Creed games, just right as I'm doing with FF now, and I'll get to Shadows at some point.
Yeah,
Because the only Assassin's Creed game that I played from beginning to end, I've played some, but the only one I played from beginning to end is two. So I
yeah,
feel like I'm
that's
a
a
bit
good one.
lacking that department. Yeah, I mean two is the one to play, right? If you're gonna play one of them.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Um,
good life we live, brother.
yeah, dude, it's so
It never
it's so
change.
yeah, man,
Yeah.
never change us. that shit's so
Exactly.
sick.
And then it goes.
That's dude. I know you're giving me chills, man. Stop
Yeah.
it. It'll never get to that level ever again because that was just a
Probably
whole
not.
other level, dude. That was just that whole line. What a life we live. Like
Hmm.
that whole thing is beautiful, and I don't know when we'll get that, but this is a good step in the right direction. So hopefully, if they can just get the story department right, I think everything else is moving good. So but yeah, but I think this has been good. I think it's a good episode. I think it's good to talk about a new game, and I think it's good to go back to an old classic like Final Fantasy X. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you finish it, and
For sure.
we need to hear finishing thoughts on that. And I think it's cool that you've went through all the Final Fantasy games up to this point. I think that's
Hell
pretty.
yeah.
Besides, like the ones that you've probably played more recent, like
Yeah, I
seven.
mean this is the last one. This is the Final Fantasy main line that I've never played. So after this, they're all under my belt. Well, besides 11 and 14, because they're MMOs, and I mean that's a different journey that I'll maybe take some other day.
Yeah, I've always been
Hmm.
interested in 14 because I feel like they do a lot of stuff with it, like a lot of different
They
characters and
really do.
things. They have a
They do
whole lore with that, but
man. They do like a shit ton of stuff. It keeps getting updated. It has like an insane player base, but it's an MMO, dude. It's a time sink.
yeah,
Like you don't just dip your toes into it. No, no, no. As soon as you dip your toes into it, like a big old crack and pulls you under the seabed, and you're only playing that for like a whole year, if not more.
that's one way to put it. But yeah, no, I get
And
what
then
you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, if anything, I would like to like just look up the lore of it because I feel like they're establishing a lot with the
yeah.
stories they do in that. But
And they have a lot of callbacks to like other Final Fantasy like games. I know there's like to all of them maybe. I know you can fight the train from
Mhm,
FF6. You can
mhm.
suplex it, but you can fight it. Uh,
Is that the
so
same one that like I know we're trying to close this up, but I was just
yeah.
thinking, but like with 14, does that bring in like a lot of like older Final Fantasy? protagonist,
It,
or am I thinking about something
w-
else?
well, I don't know about protagonist, but it definitely has like a lot of stages, enemies that kind of reference it.
Okay,
Uh,
because I know not all the Final Fantasy worlds are connected. I mean, they've already kind of established
Pretty
that.
much none of them are,
Yeah,
kinda. Yeah,
yeah,
they're all their own separate story, pretty much.
yeah. But they all reference the same type of stuff like chocobos and things like that. But they're all like
Yeah. And
different.
the crystals and this and
Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
they love their
yeah.
crystals. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They love their crystals, man. But anyway, yeah. I think that's all I got, man. I think this is a good episode. I'm glad we were back. I'm glad we could do this, and I'm excited for next week's episode because we can really dive deep into the first. I don't know, at least hopefully at least the first 5 to 10 hours, if not more, of the first
I'd
Berserker, and
say.
give our thoughts into it because I'm really excited about that one. I know this is one I got Jan excited about. So when we get really excited about a game, that's some of our best shows because I think we can just fuel the entire show with passion, and before you know it, a 5 minute conversation turns to a 2 hour conversation. So we're really excited for that. So with that being said, thank you guys for checking out another episode of Deadhead Podcast, episode 65. I know we've been kind of wishy washy, but we're going to try to stay the consistent base from here on out. And it feels good to be back as usual. With that being said, Jan, is there anything you'd like to say to people before we dip?
Praise be to Yevon. That's all I have to say,
Amen to that, brother.
man.
Anyway, thank you guys for checking us out. Follow us everywhere. And yeah, we'll be back for episode 66 in 2 weeks where we're talking about the first Berserker. Kazan, what is it?
Kazan, I
Oh,
think.
Kazan, maybe. Oh, that's even more
I think
badass. Let's go
so.
with that.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Anyway, till then, we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay dead, my friends.
See ya, peeps.